Welcome, one and all, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Ladies and gentlemen, what do we got? What do we got left? 20? We got 20 shopping days until Christmas. And if you're looking to get something for Donald Trump, you might think about a new Secretary of Defense, because things are looking not good for current SecDef nominee and guy in the movie with one line, about to find out that Jason Bourne is very good at fighting, Pete Hegseth. Hegseth's nomination has been in trouble from the beginning. Trump only knew about Hegseth from seeing him on TV as one of the hosts of Fox and Friends Weekend. You know their slogan, the only way Grandpa knows it's Saturday. Now, it has now come to light that Hegseth may have a slight work problem when he shows up at drinking, because according to an NBC report, Pete Hegseth's drinking worried colleagues at Fox News. Reached for comment, Judge Jeanine Pirro said, August Assen Farp. Strong, it's a strong statement. Strong, backing him up. Now, folks, August Assen Farp. In anonymous interviews with some of Hegseth's Fox colleagues, witnesses recounted more than a dozen occasions during Hegseth's time as co-host of Fox and Friends Weekends where they smelled alcohol on him before he went on air. But come on, it's a show that starts at 6 a.m. on the weekend. I'm sure a lot of morning hosts are still feeling it from the night before. I mean, for Pete's sake, the CBS Sunday Morning logo does look hungover. What's that, Jane? What, huh? In Hegseth's defense, none of the sources could recall an instance when Hegseth missed a scheduled appearance because he'd been drinking. And that's great, because you know what everyone says when the drunk guy shows up at work. Oh, good, you're here. The chainsaws are over there. The trees are that way. If you watch some of Pete's TV appearances over the last few years, you may have spotted some clues he had a problem.
Champagne is my problem when it comes to hangovers. It's
But
bad.
it fixes the problem in the morning, because then you have a little bit more champagne, as she pointed out, and then your problem goes away.
Yes. He's right. He doesn't have a drinking problem. He just keeps drinking, and the problem goes away. It's Pete Hegseth's 12-step program. Step 1, admit that you are powerless over alcohol. Then, chug, 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 tequila! Now, it works for him. It works for him. In case you didn't know, having a Secretary of Defense who cannot stay sober might be bad, because a Secretary of Defense is generally working at all hours and might need to respond to a crisis at any time, day or night. Now, to calm fears about this exact issue, Hegseth's team has released this ad.
It's 3 a.m. and your children are safe and asleep. Who do you want answering the phone?
It's Pete, bitch! I'm drinking Bailey's out of my third wife's shoes! Woohoo! Let's bomb France!
Today, there you go. Sure. Why not? Chugging Bailey's. Today, Hegseth forswore on the job drinking, saying, "This is the biggest deployment of my life, and there won't be a drop of alcohol on my lips while I'm doing it." A bold pledge that can mean only one thing: he's gonna butt chug. Now, boof, the return of the boof. It's been a while. Now, we at The Late Show are nothing if not fair and balanced. So I should let you know that since this NBC report, several Fox News presenters deny that they had ever detected alcohol on their former colleague when he was on the air. And while I'm sure this was as rigorously fact-checked as all other Fox News reports, it's actually not the best news for Hegseth, because it means he was sober when he did this.
Who's going to win this battle of the lumberjacks?
Please act responsibly. Apparently, why not? Sure. Apparently, the reports of the drinky drink are making Trump doing the thinky think, because word is Trump's support for Hegseth is teetering, much like Pete Hegseth at a staff meeting. I'll fight any intern for college credit. Instead, Trump is mulling replacing Hegseth with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. While DeSantis actually has some defense qualifications, the replacement isn't a done deal because some in Trump's orbit strongly dislike DeSantis. Wow, that is a weird way to find out I'm in Trump's orbit. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I did not know. I don't. Other folks on the list of possible Hegseth replacements include Iowa Senator Joni Ernst and former Pentagon official Elbridge Colby, who, from the name alone, I have to assume is a block of cheese from the 1800s. That is, yes, Elbridge Colby. Elbridge Colby. And if none of those people work out, Trump can always turn to the anchor of Fox's 3 a.m. panel show, Stars and Gripes with Ardsley Blonde Teeth. Trump is also getting a lot of visitors. For instance, last week, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg dined at the president-elect's Mar-A-Lago club in Florida. The visit is a bit unexpected, considering that in his coffee table book, Trump threatened to send Zuckerberg to prison for the rest of his life. That is the most threatening coffee table book since Ann Getty's released I Have All Your Babies. It's a good book, though. It's really good. It's a really great present. Zuckerberg has clearly been trying to win Trump over for a while here. Last July, he called Trump a badass. Can't argue with that. I would never dare call this a good ass. Whether or not... What? Whether or not the Senate gets to do shots at Hegseth's confirmation hearing, they've got other work to do. Today, they grilled officials from 5 airlines over fees for seats and checked bags. Of course, it's always hard to get answers from airline executives. Sir, is your company engaging in price gouging? Sir, does your company price gouge?
Your call is very important to us.
Representative, speak to an agent. Representative. The Senate is acting. That was a scene. I was in a scene. I had a character spine. The Senate is investigating so-called junk fees, which are the extras you pay on top of the ticket price, like when they charge you for seats with additional legroom, as well as those in preferred locations that are closer to the front of the plane. I actually think the best seats are in the back of the plane, because from there you get to watch 60 different versions of Deadpool and Wolverine, all starting at slightly different times. Between 2018 and 2023, junk fees alone allowed airlines to pocket billions of dollars. Okay, but the airlines need that money. How else are they going to pay for crucial things like abstract in-flight safety videos where, for no reason at all, the plane is a Broadway theater or a yoga studio or a giant Rube Goldberg machine? Just remember, always make sure your pulley that drops the marble onto a row of dominoes is stored before takeoff and landing. This is all detailed in a multi-year Senate study, and the chair of the committee says this report pulls back the curtain on tactics like dynamic pricing. Of course, the curtain is then quickly closed by the first-class flight attendant. If you don't fly Delta One, you don't get to see Delta One. Now go poop in a bucket, you beasts. Ooh, there was some big political drama overseas yesterday when the president of South Korea declared surprise martial law. That's actually really impressive. You know how hard it is to throw a surprise martial law? You have to get the entire military to hide behind the couch and then be quiet at the same time. Turn off the tank! Turn off the tank! So, to catch his critics off guard, no, stop. Stop it. Don't reward me. So to catch his critics off guard, President Yoon Suk-yeol issued a martial law decree at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night. You never make a good decision at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. You're either starting a third glass of Chardonnay and a new season of Bake Off, or you're declaring martial law. But guess what? Joke's on Yoon, because by South Korean law, Parliament can vote to overturn martial law. And just 2 hours after he issued his decree, lawmakers made their way past armed guards to enter the country's National Assembly to vote against it. One of them even live streaming himself climbing over a fence to get back in. Oh no. If Trump ever declares martial law, we're screwed. Our Congress is way too old to climb fences. I mean, it's a nail biter every time they get into a bathtub. We'd have to make the Senate walk in. Now, bear in mind, lawmakers were doing this as armed soldiers were breaking windows to get into Parliament and stop the assembly. That is very beeping bad.
Korean food pie.
한국 음식 희망 장난.
In the end, see? No. You see, you encourage me and you get jokes like that. In the end, lawmakers voted against the decree 190-0. And by 4:30 a.m., Yoon withdrew martial law, meaning in total, his entire coup lasted 6 hours, making it the shortest attempted coup since... well, you know. We got a great show for you tonight. My guests are Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen. But when we come back, science!